So I just came home from watching Fisherman's Friend, and I enjoyed it. It's definitely a step up from the disappointment that was It Chapter 2. Now, I didn't see any trailers for this film, and since my local theater has this thing called sneak preview, where you see movies early but not know what the movie is going in. But that is so I can counter little gems like this. Going in, I expected a drama about a few fishermen that would lose a friend in the climax after building characters for an hour, but was pleasantly surprised the movie didn't take that easy route. It is instead about a bunch of fishermen that get scouted by Danny, put on the job by his boss, whom was playing a prank on him to get them to sign on as a joke. The guys aren't that keen on Danny since he is an outsider promising fame and fortune. Two of the guys are on board for the idea, but the guy calling the shots, Jim, isn't on board entirely. So for him to convince Jim would be to get the entire band on board. Now, I'm gonna dive into spoilers, so if you want to see the movie and the story draws you in, skip to this point. He persuades Jim successfully, given his honest word. Danny is really invested in this little town and wants to bring this unique sound to the public, since sea shanties never really seem to have been ever brought to the public. In the middle of all this, Jim's daughter, Alwyn, seems to be getting along with Danny quite nicely as they start to bond. And Danny bonds with the town and they all warm up to him. Danny talks to his boss and tells them he has the band on board for the label and gets told it was a prank and that they will never sign them on. Danny isn't having this and keeps going at it. Eventually he gets them to sing at a wedding, but that doesn't go too well. The pub owner that runs the only pub in their town has trouble with finances, and Danny suggests selling the pub to a friend's father-in-law, whom surely would be interested. He did indeed buy the pub, but the owner asks to please leave it as a pub, which the new owner cannot promise. Danny gets the band to give a demo at the record label's office as a surprise to hopefully get his new boss on board. She's not convinced and tells Danny there's no way. Danny and Jim's daughter bond some more, and she tells him that the pub is the heart of the town because it used to be an old boating house that had tragedy strike. This makes Danny regret tipping the owner, and he calls his friend to cancel the deal, but sadly the deal had already gone through. A colleague tells Danny that the singers for the national anthem, to be sung for the Queen's birthday, was cancelled and asks if the fishermen want to do it instead. Jim approves and they get to sing on live television, where instead of the national anthem, they sing the anthem for their local town, Cornwall. Which stresses Danny out and makes him lash out after the song is done. The fishermen laugh it off, and the following morning, through a YouTube video that got very popular of them singing the anthem of Cornwall, Danny gets a call from his boss that first told him off after the demo at the office and now wants to sign them on. Danny seals the deal for £1 million and they celebrate at the pub, making national headlines and even getting a TV interview. Jim's dad, whom had part of the interview, didn't get shown on TV. That didn't kill the evening though, and they continued to celebrate. Not long after that, Jim's father passes away and they give him a burial. They go to the pub the same day, where it comes to light that the pub had been sold to an acquaintance of Danny. This makes Jim and his daughter turn on Danny, telling him he had been lying to them all along, and that nothing good came of him. This is where I kinda wonder what the writers were thinking, and after some research I found out that this part, about the pub not doing too well, was fiction, so it was just added for dramatic tension. Danny goes home and meets the new owner of the pub and refuses his cut of the sale, saying he wants something else. The people of Cornwall go to the pub since it's the last day before the new owner takes control, as they listen to the radio and find out if they made it in the top 40 of the national charts. Danny then goes back to the town and tells everyone that he bought the pub, which makes Jim's daughter walk out. Danny follows her that this wasn't gonna magically fix things. They get beckoned back inside by the widowed wife of Jim's dad, and they go inside. The countdown has them placed at number 9 in the national top 40, and they start cheering and everyone is happy. Danny gets together with Jim's daughter and the movie ends. Sadly, it isn't all just a happy ending. In 2013, had Trevor Gills and the band's promoter Paul McMullen killed in a backstage accident. The two men were crushed by a heavy metal door, and Paul was still alive beneath the door, while Gills was rushed to the hospital, where McMullen died at the scene, leaving a wife and son. While Grills was taken to the hospital and didn't wake up, leaving his wife and 3 sons widowed. The last recording of the full group together was done at the Last Leviathan, and since the death of Grills has become special to fans of the band. Link to that video in the description below. All in all, I would say this was a solid film. Even though the added fictional parts for additional drama to the scripts were unnecessary, the rest of the movie is strong enough to definitely make it seem too small to really care about. A feel-good movie with a tragic real-life follow-up. The members of the real-life band had roles throughout the movie, and even the songs played was a mix of the actors and the real band members for added authenticity. This movie was a passionate project that I wholeheartedly give a solid 9 out of 10. If the fictional added parts were left out, I would give it a 10, but it still is a great watch and definitely worth your time if you enjoy sea shanties. Which, since Assassin's Creed 4, the song requests on streams, where one particular mod requested them quite often, it always kept the spirits high. So, that was the review. Did you enjoy it? Did you see the movie? Tell me in the comments below what you think and what you thought of the movie if you've seen it. That has been it, and see you all next time.